Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, I'm talking to you Michigan fans out there, but also I know a lot of Alabama fans are going to be watching this video. So, 13-0 Michigan is taking on 12-1 Alabama in the Rose Bowl in the playoff. The other side is Texas versus Washington. Now, I haven't even been able to do my initial thoughts on that game yet because people keep pressuring uh, these Alabama fans. I don't think any of them have watched a Michigan game. I've watched them, and they're really good, but for them to say Alabama's just going to roll over Michigan 50-something to 14, I have news for you. I don't think Michigan is a pushover like they do. I don't think Alabama fans know what Michigan has. So I'm going to enlighten you. Here is my preview and prediction for the Rose Bowl game in the playoff between undefeated Michigan and one-loss Alabama. I know Alabama is full of 5 stars, okay? 18 of them is what I have heard. I also know that half of them are young and have never been in this situation before that they are in right now in a playoff versus a quality team like Michigan. Michigan is a different animal, almost extinct. They're Wolverines, but they're fighting back. Here we go. It's a team full of grown men here on Michigan's roster. Michigan has fifth-year seniors and COVID seniors on this team. Nobody leaves Michigan unless they go to the NFL, which a lot have over the recent years. And Michigan does not let people leave unless they are not needed here anymore. With the likes of Cade, McNamara, Eric All, and now this year, C.J. Stokes is the first transfer out this season for Michigan. But didn't need McNamara, we didn't need All. You can go to Iowa and we'll just go 13-0. No problems. No one leaves this team. They get here, they are ingrained in the culture, and they get developed by Ben Herbert, Harbaugh, Sharon Moore, whoever their position coach is. They're all amazing for Michigan. These two cultures are amazing. Both of them. Between Alabama and Michigan, who are they topped by? Nobody. But they do it different ways. Michigan is the old school that Alabama has tried to get back to after Young left at quarterback. He is now in the NFL. Alabama had to adjust, and they did nicely. Milroe is a great runner, but where are the running backs for Alabama? That is the question. There is going to be a month for Saban and Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, to address those issues. Michigan, on the other hand, has a great offensive line again, of course, even with Zach Zinter going down, and 3 capable running backs behind them. So to start this video, I'm going to talk about Michigan's offense versus Alabama's defense, and I will wrap it up talking about Alabama's offense versus Michigan's defense. Let's talk Michigan's offense. They're getting 37 points per game. That's 14th in the nation. They're only getting 381 yards per game. But you have to remember that Michigan has faced 3 of the top 5 defenses statistically in their last 4 games, including Penn State, Ohio State, and Iowa. So that will bring some numbers down for Michigan. And also, Michigan knew they were going to win all those games. They didn't really pull out all the stops versus any one of them. It was kind of a comfortable win for every one of those games, offensively for Michigan. Defensively, Alabama is allowing 18 points per game, which is 17th in the nation. 313 yards per game allowed is not too bad as well. Michigan has a balanced offense in that they can do whatever a defense gives them if needed, but they will try to run over you. First and foremost, that is what Michigan will do. Behind Blake Corum, behind this offensive line, Blake Corum has 218 carries for 1,028 yards. That's a 4.7 average, and 24 touchdowns. Get him close to the end zone. He will get in. He has a nose for the end zone. Donovan Edwards has 109 carries for 382 yards. That's a 3.5 average is all, and 3 touchdowns. But he has 30 catches for 248 yards. That's an 8.3 average out of the backfield for the most part. Sometimes he's in the slot as well, so Alabama will have to keep an eye on him. Kalel Mullings, at the third string running back for Michigan, has 32 carries for 195 yards. That's a 6.1 average. He's a big beast of a man. He has 1 touchdown. J.J. McCarthy is all the way down at number 4 in rushing for Michigan. 57 carries for 195 yards. 146 yards, That is a 2.6 average is all, and 3 rushing touchdowns for J.J. McCarthy. But you have to remember that J.J. and Jalen Milroe's rushing statistics includes sacks. And Michigan doesn't give up many. I think only 18 all season. If Michigan has to load the box to stop this running game, Michigan will look to their tight ends and wide receivers, which are tight end Colston Loveland, 40 catches for 572 yards. That's a 14-point average. He has 4 touchdowns. And then the other tight end, the transfer from Indiana, A.J. Barner, has had a great season. 22 catches for 249 yards, and that is an 11-point average. He has 1 touchdown as well. Our best receiver, most speediest and experienced, is Roman Wilson. He has 41 catches for 662 yards. That's a 16-yard average. He has 11 receiving touchdowns as well. Cornelius Johnson's no slouch. 42 catches for 567 yards. He has a 14-point average, and he has 1 touchdown. Samaj Morgan, we're getting into the young guys now here, has 17 catches for 183 yards. That's an 11-point average. He has 2 touchdowns. He is our biggest return guy now, too. Him and Thaw, but I think Samaj Morgan finally beat Thaw out in that category. And Tyler Morris has 11 catches for 152 yards. That's a 14-point average as well. This is a 3-page video, so buckle up, everybody. J.J. McCarthy is your quarterback. He isn't pedestrian. All these Alabama fans keep saying, well, not better than Milroe. Whatever, J.J. McCarthy is efficient. 2,630 yards on the ground on a 74% clip completion percentage. He has 9.2 average per completion. 19 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He's only been sacked 18 times, like I said before. If Michigan wants to settle for a field goal, James Turner is 16 of 18 in field goals on the season. And Tommy Doman is a great punter if we have to do that. Just ask Iowa. He might have outpunted Torrey Taylor. Alabama's defense. All right, what is Michigan's offense going against? Players to watch here. Caleb Downs leads the team for Alabama with 99 tackles. He also has 3 PBUs and 2 interceptions. Great all-around player. At linebacker as well, Jahad Campbell has 65 tackles. That's second best on the team. He has a half a sack and 1 interception. And then at cornerback, Terrion Arnold has 61 tackles, but he beat out Downs with 5 interceptions and has 11 pass breakups. Only 12 interceptions for this Alabama defense all season. That's less than one per game. The defensive front for Alabama, especially with the size and speed that they have, is elite. They have 38 sacks on the season. Linebacker Dallas Turner leads the pack with 9 sacks and 50 tackles. Linebacker Chris Braswell has 8 sacks and 41 tackles and an interception. Defensive lineman Justin I'm going to try and say this right. Ebogbe has 7 tackles and 59. There's 7 sacks and 59 tackles. Defensive lineman Tim Smith has 30 tackles and 2 sacks. So these are some of the players that Michigan's offense needs to look out for. Michigan will have to run against this front. They will have to be effective. So now let's turn to the other side of the ball, which is Alabama's offense versus Michigan's defense. Alabama is getting 35 points per game. That's 19th in the nation, just behind Michigan offensively, and gaining 401 yards per game. But Texas is the second best defense that they played all season long, and they lost to them. So Michigan will be the best defense that they've played, even better than Georgia or anybody else. They're allowing 9.5 points per game. Michigan is. That's first in the nation. And they're allowing 240 yards per game is all, which is second in the nation. Intermission here. I'm going to take a break. Voice was getting raspy. Okay. Alabama will have to run the ball just like Michigan has to be effective. They are not from different planets with different types of players or schemes or whatever. These are two great teams that want to be physical. Alabama will have to run the ball just like Michigan will to be effective. At running back, Alabama has Jace McClellan, who has 166 carries for 803 yards. That's a 4.8 average. He has 6 touchdowns, not too shabby. Running back Roydell Williams has 110 carries for 561 yards. That's a 5.1 average and 5 touchdowns. Also, not too shabby. The problem is their third rushing leader, their third most, their third most rushing yard getter. How do I say that? Anyway, you let me know down below. Hope you guys are enjoying this premiere. Jalen Milroe is Alabama's third leading rusher. There we go. So far, with 140 carries, 468 yards. That's a 3.3 average. He has 12 rushing touchdowns. And remember, that takes into effect all of his 38 sacks. Well, maybe not him specifically, but Alabama has given up 38 sacks. So he is a prolific runner. Wide receiver, if they can get the ground going, maybe they can get the ball to Jermaine Burton. He has 35 catches for 777 yards, 22 average, and 8 touchdowns. He is a weapon. And Isaiah Bonds had 44 catches for 621 yards, 14 average, and 4 touchdowns. Kobe Prentice has 17 catches for 301 yards, 18 average, and 2 touchdowns. Tight end Amari Niblack has 19 catches for 321 yards. That's a 17-point average, and he has 4 touchdowns. And then I'll even throw in C.J. Dupree. He only had 9 catches, but you got to watch out for this guy because they went for 172 yards. That's a 19-yard average. Milroe, passing the ball, has 2,718 yards, comparable to J.J. McCarthy, but way less on his completion percentage, 66% compared to 74% for J.J. He does complete, per average, is better than JJ's with 10.4 compared to 9.2. And 23 touchdowns is damn near the same, 4 off. And 6 interceptions is close as well. But he was sacked 38 times so far this season. That is not going to go well. Versus the unit that this Alabama offense has to go against here, which is Michigan's defense. And they are the best in the nation, in my opinion. Alabama is going against a group including the following. Michigan has had so many 3-and-outs this year. The reason stats within Michigan's secondary or defensive line are not going to be elite, but the linebackers lead the team in tackles. All 3 linebackers for Michigan lead the team. That's Junior Colson. 79 tackles he has. That leads the team. See, compared to 99 tackles for Alabama's linebacker. So many 3-and-outs. You could say that Alabama has played better offenses than Michigan, but Michigan had to play Ohio State, Marvin Harrison, and UNLV's tearing it up throughout the year. And there has been some good offenses, okay. Penn State with their running attack was great until they came up against Michigan. And it starts with the linebackers for this defense. Junior Colson, number 1. Michael Barrett has 52 tackles at linebacker as well and 2 sacks. And Ernest Hausman has 43 tackles. The next guy for Michigan, he's at linebacker as well. The next guy for Michigan has 33. That's it. And that is defensive lineman Chris Jenkins, who has 1.5 sacks and 1 interception as well. Michigan's defense has 33 sacks on the season, including the following defensive linemen. Defensive end Jalen Harrell has 6.5 sacks on 28 tackles. Defensive end Josiah Stewart has 4.5 sacks and 26 tackles. Defensive end Derek Moore has 4 sacks and 32 tackles. And defensive lineman in the interior, Mason Graham, has 3 sacks and 28 tackles. And this is not all of them, being fair on both sides. Both teams, I'm sure, have rotations in depth. Of course they do. I'm just pointing out Michigan's right here. For these Alabama fans, Alabama doesn't want to go against Michigan's back end as well. The secondary is the greatest in the nation for Michigan. They have 16 interceptions. And I know that 12 forced fumbles doesn't come from the secondary, but we have those too. 12 forced fumbles. It starts with defensive back Mike Sainristil with 30 tackles, 5 interceptions. 2 of those went for touchdowns. And he also has 6 pass breakups and 2 sacks. Amazing player. He's undersized, but he gets the job done. Defensive back Will Johnson, arguably the best cornerback in the nation, has 20 tackles. He missed a lot of the season early. 3 interceptions, and 1 of his interceptions went for a touchdown. And he also has 4 pass breakups. And then Keon Sabb at safety has 21 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 1 of his interceptions went for a touchdown. Safety Rod Moore has 29 tackles and 2 interceptions as well. And defensive back Quentin Johnson is a young guy, but he has 20 tackles, 1 interception, and 4 pass breakups. I can go on and on. This doesn't even list Makari Page, who is another amazing defensive back. In conclusion, Michigan just has too many grown, experienced men for Alabama to win this game. Yes, Michigan will be able to run the ball and play off of the running game, which means play action, draw plays, screens, what have you. Depending on who gets the ball first I think Michigan will score first and put the pressure on Alabama to come back against this defense, which will lead to some mistakes for them. There will be some interceptions for Alabama and Milroe. Let's not forget Alabama is penalty prone, whereas Michigan is tops in the nation in not committing penalties or turning the ball over. It is the boa constrictor that Joel Klatt said Michigan was. It will win again, scoring 31 points in this game offensively and allowing only 20 to Alabama. I think Michigan will get 9 or 10 possessions offensively, which is kind of par for the course all season. And I think they will get 4 touchdowns versus this Alabama defense and a field goal. That's 31 points. Alabama will get either the same amount or one more or one less possession than Michigan. And I think they can only muster up 20 points. Michigan will win. Michigan will win this game 31-20. That's 11-point spread. So there you have it. That's my preview. That's what I think what will happen. That's my prediction. Go Blue, and thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Share with other people out there. Subscribe if you have not. Thank you for the new subscribers. I saw we were over 200 now subscribers. So that is awesome as well. Michigan's no slouch. I hope after watching this, some of you Alabama fans will take us seriously. Just like I think Michigan is going to take Alabama seriously. Listen, Nick Saban's great. Yes, he's got all these stats that say Michigan cannot win this game. Here to tell you, Alabama's a different team than they were, and Michigan is a better team than they were. So here we go. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who's going to win this game? Try not to be hasty or hateful, and I will respond to you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day out there. Go Blue.